Hello everybody, my name is Dymantro and welcome back to another episode here on the Let's Play Survival series. A lot has been happening over here in our industrial district and I've got a lot to show you. We've been doing a lot of work on the live streams and there's plenty to be seen over here. So before we get today's episode underway, let's start by looking at all the different things that we've been doing on the live streams. Let's start over here by the rocket factory, which we built in the last episode. And here we are, guys. We built our very first docks right here. And this is going to be housing some beautiful recreational boats because this is going to be our recreational marina, like we like to call it. And as you can see, we've been extending out the sand right here and there's still a lot to be done and adding in some corals. And this, I think, looks amazing. However, boats in the future will definitely make this area stand out even more. Now, we've also been doing a lot of work here at the rocket factory and you, my friend, need to go. Anyway, let me show you what we got done on the inside of this room and especially the creeper killing chamber. So in here, we've got a pretty small room. Now, it's pretty cramped in here. I am sorry about that, but there is just not much space that we can work with. So this little room will have to do. But coming down here, it is much bigger and much more spacious. And as you can see, we've got a really cool atmosphere in here. It almost does look like a blacksmith. Anyway, here is a creeper killing chamber. And you can see the creeper simply fall, land on these magma blocks. There are some minecarts with hoppers stuck inside of those blocks and all of their loot is channeled underneath this floor and right here to these barrels. And you can see we are getting quite a lot of gunpowder. Anyway, our two sugarcane farms lead also back down into this room and more specifically into these barrels. And as you can see, we've been getting a lot of sugarcane on this side as well as this side. I tell you, these sugarcane farms are going to be very productive because that was only from a couple of hours. And then finally, to do all the crafting, because the rockets don't get made simply by just standing around here, I have hidden some barrels as well as a crafting bench, right here underneath this floor. So we can simply take our paper, put in our gunpowder and get some rockets out of it. And then over here on this second chest, I've got my supply of rockets. So I can simply fill up right here. And that is this entire room finished. But there is more, guys. This is not everything we did in live streams. In here, we also finished off the interior. And this is a project I've been putting off for a very long time. And it appears so. We have a golem stuck up there. So let me take care of him because he's actually stopping and preventing the farm from working. There we go. So let me now tell you a little bit more and show you what we did around here. Now, the idea for this room was to create an iron factory, but to really show that there is some iron that's being produced, some iron like anvils, you could say, and we will definitely be adding many anvils in the future using the armor stand mod. Anyway, this is the main loading room. So you could imagine that the truck would come in here and all of these crates which have fragile on it, all of these crates would get loaded onto the truck and the truck would just drive off. And this is our big door to let the truck in. Now coming down here, I have added this little production chain, which is still to be completed. I still believe that this room is a little bit bare. Anyway, this is the very first product chain. So this is where the items get packed up into the crates that you can see over there. And then over here is the iron supply that gets fed into this humongous furnace, which melts down the iron and puts it in these different molds. And you can see we have some empty cauldrons, which are the empty molds, and then some of these have actually blacksmithing tables which make it look like the mold is filled up. And I think this room turned out amazing. And then coming back around to the front, there are other little elements. You may see that the roof has changed. It's not pointy or triangular anymore. It is nice and rounded. And we also have this crane right here, which is to move supplies around from the different steel that is being produced here. And it appears we have another golem. I really need to spawn proof the top of that so the golems don't spawn up there, because they are preventing the farm from working. Anyway, that is pretty much everything we got done on live streams. So again, if you guys want to participate in these live streams, go over to twitch.tv/Dymantro. The links are in the description, and make sure you follow me on Twitch so you don't miss any future live streams. Anyway, let's get on to today's episode because we've got a lot planned for today. Now, just like we've done the marina right here, I want to now focus on our attention over the next few episodes on bringing some unison to this area, because currently we have some builds over there. We have this amazing rocket factory over here, but there is not really anything tying everything together. And even though there are still a couple of buildings that I am planning on adding, we are quickly filling up this area. Now, one of these was this marina right here, which still needs to be completed, because currently, even though it's really pretty, I find it a little bit too contrasty compared to the wall. But for today's episode, we are going to be leaving this recreational marina and turning our attention on the other side of the island, and more precisely on building the industrial slash professional slash commercial marina. This is where the big boats come and the fishermen drop off their fish in the mornings. And so that is what we are going to be working on today's episode. So my plans are to really start transforming this area, adding life and making it feel like this is part of a bustling industrial district. So let me start by adding some road here and laying out the foundations for the different docks that we're gonna have on the back of here of our building. And by the way, guys, we've got a little friend right here which we named during the last live stream. She's named Oreo, and I really like the name. I think you can see the two little eyes. Like, you can see right here we have the first eye right here and the second eye right here. It's a little bit abstract, but I really like it, and I also do love Oreos. So she's gonna be our little friend here during this Let's Play survival series. So welcome to the family, Oreo. Alrighty guys, I've started laying out this area, and hopefully I can make this as clear as possible for you guys. So let me plop on top of this building. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in this area. Now, as you can see, this road right there is going to branch off over here, and this is going to be the road leading up to the different ships that are going to be housed back at the back of this building. So the big ship, the main ship, is going to be a giant boat sitting in the ocean right here, and he's going to be by a dock, and this is our main dock. And we're going to have later on some trucks unloading all their goods, as well as a giant crane which will be loading everything into that truck. And this right here, right there, is going to be a giant concrete dock to house the giant ship which will go here. And then on this side behind here, we will have first of all, we have our walkway right here, which will get detailed much more in the future, but so far this is just the outlines. But after that, we will have some fishing boats as well as other ones hanging out in the area, and I've got a really cool little design for them, so I just cannot wait to get them into this world because they're gonna be amazing. Anyway, for now, let me get this giant piece of land removed and let me get some more of this outline drawn out so you guys can get a better understanding of what we're gonna be building in this area. It has been a while since the last clip, guys, but I've gotten a lot of stuff done off camera. So I want to now take you through all the different little features that I have set up right here and show you what this area will look like. This will really show you what the main area will look like. So before that, let's have a sleep and then I will show you everything that we got done. Alright, starting over here, I decided to remove the sidewalk from this side because we will have the pier already on this side of the road. But I kept it on the other side and I added these trees, which I will be adding more in the future. Some that will look like this, others that will be more fuzzy, but basically adding stuff to make it look like this place has a little bit more greenery because stone is fine, but a little bit too much can get pretty boring real quick. So over here on this pier, I have mixed up all kinds of different blocks, adding texture variation, which really brings this area together and gives it life and structure. And then down here, this is the start of the fishing piers where there will be all the different boats. And I've started creating this pretty cool underside using lanterns and then this beautiful little dock right here, which will have some branches coming out of it and then fishing boats lined up in between them. And I will be building some of those later during today's episode. Anyway, this texture right here variation will be continued throughout the different piers over here. So, but this was basically to give you an idea of how this place will look like. Now, the road right here will simply come through just like it's doing right now. And this is the breakup point. This is where it either turns that way and goes towards the giant boat, which will be sitting over there, or it starts to go down to the sea. And this is so you can pretty much put some small boats in the water. This is, I forgot the exact name, but this is like a boat ramp. You put the boats in the water and there's a gradual transition between what used to be the road and then what is now stone, and it's been worn off by the water. And we're gonna have a transition to some mossy blocks as well to really make it look like the water has grown some algae and it's really good. I also added these little bumps right here on the side of the piers, and this is to break up the straightness of the road and give it a little bit more variation. And then over here we have the pier and the sidewalk, which will be next to one another, and that is because we will have a giant crane right here loading what will become a giant boat. So that is why we have that right there. Anyway, that is pretty much what I will be doing for the next couple of hours probably. So I reckon we should work on this together and start a third-person time-lapse, the first one of many probably in this episode. So let's get right into it. Let's start that third-person time-lapse and let's have some fun building this harbor. And there is our beautiful harbor, which we just built in the time lapse. And I love this place. It turned out so much better than I ever thought, and I cannot be more happy about it. But there is still a lot that needs to be done here, especially on tidying up the edges. For example, over there in that corner, it is still pretty messy, and there is a lot of terraforming, especially underwater terraforming over here, that needs to be done. As you can see, this place right here is still very bare, and we need to work on that. And that will be done probably over some live streams. So definitely, like I said before at the start of this episode, follow me on Twitch so you don't miss out on whenever I do any more live streams. Anyway, now the task at hand before we end this episode is to add some life to this harbor, because currently it is looking pretty bare and there are no boats. And a harbor is nothing without its boats. So let's hop yet again into another time lapse and build some boats and a crane together. So here we go, guys. Time lapse number 2 for this episode. Ahoy, sailor! Are you ready to embark on an adventure? Because I sure am ready. This area turned out amazing, and I love the vanilla game, but just turning on the shaders really takes it to a whole new level. Anyway, this is unfortunately all the time I'm gonna have for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and if you did, please be sure to smash that subscribe button and that like button, because that would really help out the channel, especially in these early stages of YouTube. It's hard to grow and it really has an impact hitting that subscribe button. And if you like the video, why not leave a nice comment also, and I will be sure to reply to you. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and tune in next Sunday where we will be tackling this ugly box in the sky. Anyway, that's enough exclusive previews for today. Thank you for watching, like I said before, and have a good one, everybody. Bye bye!